This is where we conduct our training. We equip the entrepreneurs with digital entrepreneurship and technological skills, because these are the things that some of them are lacking. All right. So we have different types of trainings, and our training modules are actually, it has been certified by the London Examination Board of UK, and also it's being adopted by some local universities. Okay, these are our prime training program. We have a free webinar. All right, so during this free webinar, we are offering them the free biz.my domain name as well as the go-to brand. So normally, how do we do this free webinar? It's either via FB Live, right? Via FB Live. The second one is via collaboration with our collaborators. They will gather all their entrepreneurs. So normally we do it via Zoom, via Zoom. And then we have one-day training. It is intensive digital marketing technique focusing on social medias such as Facebook, IG, WhatsApp Business, how to use WhatsApp Business for the businesses. And finally, we include TikTok after finding out that the conversion rates and the view for TikTok is much greater than Facebook. So for this training, we include handholding and monitoring for 3 months. And finally, we have the 3 days training, whereby this one on top of the social media marketings, we teach them how to build, how to develop a website for them. All right, a website, full e-commerce website. And we include another module, which is SEO Google Ads. And this one also include with the monitoring and a holding session for 3 months. So for 2021, we managed to train around 21,000 SMEs, from the micro up to the SMEs. And if let's say we look during the pandemic time, during the MCO in 2020, so how do we conduct our trainings? All trainings are conducted via online. And then in 2021, we start the hybrid, online and on-premise. That's how we do.
Okay, Faris, actually this is very interesting. Your program actually is a combo, and you have the enablement, which actually touches on how do they use the domain name. The other one is actually adding in the capability to help them in getting on board quickly, like MyDX, then go to the website builder. And the last one, actually the hand holding on the training, which is actually provide them a very good platform so that when they started, SME started to work on it, they are not left alone. They are actually guided all the way through until they reach a point whereby they can be self-sustained. I think this is a very good approach. In fact, I see that there are 3 kind of diversification between the speakers, so how they actually enable or digitize the so-called SME. Now, interesting enough, in this case, right, how MYNIC make use of the domain name in helping the SME?
Oh, actually, this is a big thing to discuss, David. All right, it's like this. Initially, during the earlier period, prior launching Prime, we made a visitation tour to all the ministries and related agencies, just to get them to understand. Because if you can see, most of the people nowadays on the ground, they would prefer to use social medias as well as e-marketplaces for them to go online, right? For their online presence. So when we look at the trend, it's quite worrying because we receive plenty of surveys, we receive plenty of feedbacks from the market, that they cannot compete. All right, they cannot compete. It's very hard for them to penetrate overseas to international market. And on the e-marketplaces platform, there are so many competition, especially from the overseas market, because they are selling generic product and they cannot compete in terms of pricing, especially. And if let's say we look at the US e-commerce Department of Commerce reports on e-commerce in Malaysia, we can see that most Malaysian, they purchase from China, Korea, Taiwan, Japan, Singapore, and Malaysia is at the 6th place. So how do we actually change the game? How do we actually change the game? That is why it is very imperative for us to go to all the ministries, to go to all the agencies, to make them understand the importance of how my domain name can actually support and add value to their existing programs. How this .my domain name can actually help the SMEs, right, to scale further. So that's the thing that we first did. And now they are supporting our initiative when they realize that .my domain name can actually add the value that they have been looking so much. This is the missing piece, all right? This is the missing piece. And then they start to gather their SME. They start to gather their SME. And from there, we conduct the training. But the first thing that we tell them is about the basic foundation of online business in the digital economy era, whereby we are stressing about the importance of digital branding first, because they do not really understand what digital branding is. So we teach them about how to establish and protect their digital identity. So it can be done using a domain name, a social media, and e-marketplace. But then if let's say we focus particularly in social media, it's quite hard for them, all right, to protect, all right, to protect the social media accounts, because anyone at any time, they can copy your page, they can create the same name. Right? So when they have a domain name and they put their domain name, whether it's linked to using the GoTo brand, link it to their direct WhatsApp, or link it to their other social media platforms, or link it to their website, it shows that their page is legit. And the second part, we teach them about visibility. Visibility is very important in online business, right? After they have established and they have protect, they need to do digital marketing. They need to have digital content. If let's say they have a website, they must know how to have a proper SEO strategy. And then if let's say they are having social medias, how they want to increase the impression, engagement, conversion, so on and so forth. And finally, how to do a proper marketing in marketplace, because in marketplace, it's quite hard for them to have their own product campaigns or branding campaigns. It can only be done when they have a proper online presence. And finally, when they have visibility, there's a chance for them to sell. So when they sell, they can get a good review. When they have plenty of good reviews, compliments, credits, that's where they will create your credibility. So all these three things, it comes handy when they understand they must have the identity, visibility, and credibility. And these are what we call today as digital branding. On top of that, we teach them, we tell them, we train them to understand about the importance of e-commerce ecosystem. Because most of the SME, they tend to look only at social media, social messengers, and e-marketplace, and they neglect the importance of website, being their own digital premise under their full control. Because in other platforms, third-party platforms, they are unable to have a total control. There are some restrictions, terms, and conditions that they need to abide to. But in their website, they can put anything. They can say anything, as long as it's permitted according to the law. So, and then we preach to them about the importance of search engine as well. For this, for today, I'm particularly referring to Google search engine. Because why? Because Google search engine is controlling 90% of the market share in the world. And in Malaysia, 99% of Malaysians are using Google, right? Are using Google. So that is what the most important thing that they need to understand. If let's say they manage to complete this ecosystem of online businesses, of e-commerce, this is what they're gonna get. This is the most visited websites in Malaysia in 2020, for example. So if let's say we look at the trend here, how many Malaysians use Google on daily basis? All right, 20 million Malaysians use Google on daily basis, plus YouTube, 8.2 million users. All right. So if let's say they have a proper online presence, David, if let's say they have a proper online presence, easily they can be found. There's a potential for them to be discovered almost 30 million times a day. Combined with all the ecosystems of e-commerce, they can be found almost 38 million times a day by the local audience. Because we know today that Google search algorithms are more localized in nature. So that's how we train these people. That's how we train these people. Other than we handhold them for several months, keep following up with them, we monitor their progress. And then if it's every 2 weeks, we come and see them. So those kind of things.